Going through Bluey episodes has been fun, but there's one character that people seem to be avoiding. Like before, a Reddit post popped on my feed and it was titled, "Muffin is the worst. We skip Muffin episodes because it's teaching my 4-year-old how to be a brat." This has over 2,000 upvotes. But unlike before, fans disagreed. Muffin is just an accurate description of a toddler. Kids throwing tantrum is perfectly healthy at that age. Muffin is 3. She's fine. Leave her alone. I wanted to see who Muffin was for myself, so I watched every major Muffin episode to find out what made people argue about her character. To understand why some people don't like her, you have to start with Library. While not her first appearance, we get a big clue to why Muffin acts the way that she will in this episode.
Orange light, Dad.
Oop.
Dad! You tried throwing orange light!
Yeah, I did.
Muffin does not have the same parents as Bluey and Bingo. And while Bandit, Bluey and Bingo's dad, gets a lot of praise, Stripe, Muffin's dad, gets considerably less because of moments like this. Now, do adults make mistakes? Yes, but in this case, the bigger mistake was turning the mistake into a good thing. When Muffin wonders why Stripe didn't obey the rule of slowing down at a yellow light, he says this was a special case. Muffin would then ask if Stripe is special, and if she is special, and he says,
Muffy, you're the most special kid in the whole world.
Ooh, interesting.
the seeds are now planted for the chaos that happens in the rest of this episode. But already you can see a few things. Muffin respects Stripe's word a lot, and Stripes loves Muffin a lot. Muffin would hear that she's the most special girl in the world, and that would feed into her actions, such as not wiping her feet when she steps into Bluey's home. While she is 3 at this point in the show, there's a greater conversation to have here. In Muffin thinking that she's too special, was she trying to cause harm to Chili by not wiping her feet? No, she just took the wrong message from her father's wrong message about a wrong action. So who's at fault here? Bluey and Bingo are playing library, and quickly things go wrong, because one of them feels more special than the others.
Catch what is here! Catch what is here! Catch what! Muffin! Sure! Fear not! We are here for your protection! Yeah.
Some of the comments underneath my judo video had the sentiment that people just don't seem to enjoy children, and that might be true. But I think a small but loud part of the Bluey fandom do enjoy children, just only when they're quiet, polite, and behaving. And that's what I want to talk about. You see, I was a quiet child, so I understand the stress and discomfort you can feel being around a loud child who doesn't want to listen to you. I can understand that if you enjoy Bingo's character, for example, you have lots of empathy for her in this situation. But let's make it very clear, this show has tons of episodes where Bluey and Bingo have to learn lessons too. And just because they don't have to learn this lesson doesn't mean it isn't an important lesson to learn. In fact, if you have strong feelings towards how Muffin is acting right now, I would argue that's even more of a reason to have a character like that in this show learn this lesson. In fact, one of the lessons Bluey and Bingo struggle with over the course of the show can be seen in this clip here.
I want pop-up bomb! Muffin, you can't have that one.
But, you know.
Dad!
Yes, Muffy?
Bluey isn't letting me play library.
Can you include Muffin in your game, please?
We are, but she's not playing properly.
Because they are kids, none of them describe the core of what's going on here, so nothing gets solved. From the adult's perspective, Muffin wants to play, but Bluey doesn't allow her because she's not playing by her rules. This is true, but this is not clear. Had Bluey said something like, Muffin is snatching a book that Bingo is trying to read, this situation would have been read differently. I can understand how Bluey and Bingo's imperfect communication skills are easier to watch than Muffin's self-control problems, but real kids have both. I mean, real adults have both. So where better to explore it than a show like Bluey? And you know what else people struggle with? Code switching.
The library rules are, you can do 3 books out at a time. Muffin, that's too many books. I can play however I want.
As a person who enjoys my silent time, I also love louder activities such as joining chaotic VCs in my server or blasting music in my room. semi-responsibly. But I can understand that loud kids may have different ways of playing, and a game like Library probably isn't best suited to a kid like Muffin. Now, Muffin is not home and should learn to switch to a quieter, more understanding, and more tolerant version of herself to respect Bluey and Bingo's space and have an easier time. But again, she took the wrong message from a good-hearted person about a wrong action. Bluey and Bingo are now dejected as Muffin has been ruining their whole afternoon. So they accept that Muffin is allowed to play how she likes, even if it is to everyone's detriment. And that's when they finally say the one piece of information that changes the entire context of what the issue was about.
She said she doesn't have to follow the library rules.
Oh.
Did she say why?
She says because she's the most special kid in the world.
Oh, okay.
Muffin is special to Stripe, but Muffin is equal to Bluey and Bingo. Muffin is impressionable, but getting mad at an impressionable 3-year-old for taking in the wrong message as an adult would be like getting mad at the bugs entering your room when you leave out food overnight all the time. Now, this is key to understanding Muffin. Once she's told by Stripe how to act, she changes her behavior immediately. She's ready to play Library by Bluey's rules. After they're done with their playdate, Stripe slows down at a yellow light, showing Muffin that it's important to respect the rules of others. You could see why some people find this episode hard to watch, but honestly, Muffin is way more tame here than in this next episode, because if you thought Muffin's habit of being too unruly was a problem, you haven't seen anything yet.
Muffin, don't suck your thumb.
Why?
'Cause it's not good for your teeth, hon.
I want to do what I want.
I really like this episode, but this episode hurts me, and you'll see why. Muffin is given a cone so that she stops sucking her thumb. Unfortunately, Muffin isn't able to play sandwich shop with the others without making a mess of things. To those who may not enjoy Muffin's character, I ask you, how hard do you think it is for a child to stop sucking their thumb? And follow-up question, how hard do you think it is for adults to eat healthier?
All she needs to do is not put her thumb in her mouth. It's easy.
Chips?
Nah, I'm off the chips. Trying to eat healthy.
Good on you.
Well, one won't hurt.
This episode does a great job of showcasing two things that almost everyone goes through. One, breaking habits, especially ones that have been deep-seated for years. It's a tough thing to do, but more importantly, two, as hard as it would be to break those habits, it's even harder to break that habit if you're being prompted to indulge in that habit. It's easy for me to say I'm not drinking because I'm not an alcoholic, nor do I put myself in situations where alcohol is pressured or even around me. I'm sure it's easy to not get addicted to doom scrolling if you don't have a phone, but as a child, they can't just lock their thumb up and place it on a really high shelf. And Trixie, Muffin's mom, doesn't understand this because she doesn't get the good feelings Muffin gets from indulging in that bad habit, but it's the same feeling even if doing either too much is bad for you. Bluey and Bingo try to plead their case, but as soon as the cone goes off, Muffin goes back to sucking her thumb, so she can't be trusted.
Why can't you just not suck your thumb? I don't know. I just can't. Well, we can't play sandwich shop then. I'm sorry.
At her age, she can't even fathom the idea that chemicals in your brain wire you to have strong urges to stick to bad habits because of the good feelings you get from them. It's very important to note that Muffin does not feel great about the fact that this habit is causing problems with her time with Bluey and Bingo. So she goes to sulk outside, feeling awful about herself, because no one has this problem that she has. So let's get to the part that pains me. It's what Chili does here.
Oh, get these things away from me.
Sorry, I shouldn't have put them out. You're trying to be healthy.
Nah, it's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I can resist.
Now look, I'm not saying that Chili is malicious here, but Chili does what some people around me have done when I'm trying to actively break a habit. During a time when I was trying to swap to healthier foods, for example, if you had to choose between pizza that you can smell right in front of you and spending the time needed to cook chicken and rice, your brain gets really good at justifying the worst decision here. I wish this episode spoke up about how difficult it is to break a habit that you're actively tempted with, as Chili's perspective was more so that, one day Muffin will stop sucking her thumb, which, I understand and I agree with, but it would have been a great learning moment to explain that sometimes it's hard to stop doing something that made you feel good for doing it. What Bluey and Bingo end up doing, though, is super important.
Hi, Muffin. I'm sorry I can't stop sucking my thumb. It's okay, Muffin. I think I have to wear my cone forever. Well then, we're going to think of a game where your cone is okay.
They make Muffin's time of unlearning a fun time. instead of a punishing time. It's easier to break the habit if you aren't thinking of the habit, and Muffin sulking here, feeling all of the guilt for having it, could only make breaking the habit even harder, and failing to break the habit hurt even more. I enjoy the fact that Muffin is playing how she normally does. Still quite brash, but unlike Library, this environment suits that side of her. That's what makes the ending of this episode so clever. Rather than sucking on her thumb because she feels the right to, she sucks on her thumb to get the cone of shame to make unlearning the habit just as fun. So before we get on to the next episode, I kinda wanna respond to the title of that Reddit post, because I'm sure this person is a spectacular parent, but wording the post as "it teaches my 4-year-old" is backwards. Yes, media is influential and children are impressionable, but it sounds like you're influential too with your child. I would hope. You gotta think of Bluey and shows like Bluey like cereal. It's part of a balanced breakfast. Not the entire breakfast. If these situations are prevalent with your child, this is the perfect opportunity to help them unlearn these habits so that they can see where Muffin is going wrong too. Now, unfortunately, as much as I've been defending Muffin in this video, things get as bad as they can be in this next episode.
Hi! Hi, Muffin! Hi! Stop honking!
This is Facey Time, an episode where Muffin is probably at her worst. Bluey and Bingo call Muffin and her younger sister Socks, and things go left quite quickly. Both sets of mothers tell their children to avoid hogging up all of the Facey Talk time, but unfortunately Muffin's habit of being selfish comes out the most here. What's important is that when Bingo asks Bluey for a turn, Bluey politely asks if she can finish this drawing first, which makes Bingo understand when her turn starts. When Socks asks for her turn, Muffin flat out denies it and focuses on the drawing, which gives a different message. And speaking of messages, take a look at how Muffin's parents speak about this.
I can handle it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I got it covered. Kids, you better share that thing or I'm switching it off.
What?
Whoa, okay, maybe not off, but...
Look, I'll handle it.
No, I can do it. You go do your thing.
This might be one of the most important scenes to understand Muffin, where everyone is so focused on the result. We have the cause of why Muffin is the way that she is, staring right at us, behind the pink and purple cowboy hat. Trixie and Stripe do not present a united front, often having opposing viewpoints on how to handle things, which is making it hard to parent when they aren't on the same wavelength as parents. Stripes tries to settle things diplomatically by setting a timer, but what he doesn't understand is that Muffin fundamentally has a habit of doing what she wants based on how much she wants it. And if you thought she wanted to ride a loud bike in Library and suck her thumb in Muffin Cone, she really wants to finish her cowboy hat. And that's not gonna fly with Stripe.
Muffin Cupcake Healer.
Cowboy hat!
If you say cowboy hat one more time, you'll be in timeout.
Cow. Boy. Hat!
Okay, that's it. You're going to timeout.
This is one of the roughest episodes of Muffin to watch or defend, but it's pretty realistic to how certain children act. There's a great point shown in this episode, and to explain it, I want to revisit that post and speak about one of the people who spoke in her defense. I think the fact that you've got more mature, better behaved kids around Muffin reacting to her is key. It's not just teaching kids how not to act, Muffin, but also how to be a friend while setting boundaries when their daycare, classmates, etc. start acting like Muffin. It's clear that Bingo and Bluey understand that Muffin is not behaving, which is great for them. But there's a lot of children who may not understand or even emulate what Muffin does if it was shown in a vacuum. This is something about ruder characters that I always try to tell people. When I grew up on Ed, Edd, and Eddy, I knew that I didn't want to be like Eddie because I saw how he treated everyone and how everyone treated him. I knew I didn't want to be like Blue from Foster's Home because I saw how people in-universe spoke about him. Seeing everyone either silently or openly disapprove of Muffin's actions is important, and something that if I had a child, I would point out to send the message home, especially when you see how Muffin handled being put in timeout.
What the?
Muffin!
Ah, she's got my phone. Muffin! Running away will only make it worse.
Muffin, you can't steal your dad's phone. Yes, I can.
Is Muffin incredibly rude in this episode? Absolutely. I also enjoyed a smaller detail where Bingo is smiling and trying to help, but Bluey corrects her younger sister, insisting that Muffin did a wrong thing and now is in trouble because of her insistence of doing that wrong thing. While Socks enjoys uncontested facey talk time, Muffin tries to use Bingo and Bluey as help to run away from her father, which leaves Bluey very conflicted. Bandit joins in on all the chaos and honestly, is quite based.
Get back here, Muffin! Run, Muffin!
What's going on?
I'm handling it!
But he's not. And that's valid to bring up. You can see that they also have unresolved issues, bringing up that they've had different rules and upbringings as children and ways of punishing. It can get very confusing. Stripe wants to be an active dad, and it's clear he's learning how to do it. And Trixie wants Stripe to be a great dad and allows him the space to work at it. As rough as it can be to watch Muffin misbehave, had Bluey and Bingo had the same type of parenting, they would act like Muffin. And it isn't to say that Trixie or Stripe episodes should be banned, but that we should be able to spot, understand, and combat when we see people who behave like Muffin. They work together to try and capture Muffin, who clearly has cardio for days, and despite Bluey trying to convince Muffin to give it up, Muffin doesn't stop until it's too late.
Oh boy. Sorry, Dad.
Muffin?
Yes?
Time out.
Okay.
This is definitely one of the worst moments of Muffin's character in terms of her behavior. And again, while I can understand it's not as easy of a watch, I want to point out one more comment. Honestly, I totally get this opinion until I saw Granny Mobile. Then my opinion on Muffin did a total 180. I myself never cared for Muffin just because I couldn't stand kids who acted the way that she did. But I kept watching, and I did see that she was slowly getting better before she immediately grew on me on Granny Mobile. So what's Granny Mobile? And what did Muffin do in that episode to change this person's mind and potentially some other people's too? The final episode doesn't involve Muffin's parents, but perhaps showcases the greatest gift a character like hers will need to use one day. In this episode, Doreen, one of their neighbors, is holding a garage sale to save up for a vacation. She's not doing the best job at it though.
How much do you want for this?
Oh, well, what do you think?
$2?
Okay, that's fine.
Thanks. Doreen, that vase is worth way more than that.
Oh, I don't want to make a fuss.
This reminds me of my second Bluey video when I spoke about Bingo and how nice people tend to not be nice enough to themselves in fear of causing conflict. While standing up for yourself is still the best way to do it, the second best way that works for a while is having someone do it for you. Chili attempts to guide Doreen to be more assertive, but nothing is helping. Meanwhile, Bluey, Bingo, and Muffin are playing Grandma, with Muffin being the grouchy grandma. On the outside, some may feel that Muffin's treatment of Bandit here was a bit much, and I can kind of see that, but what's important to note is just like with Library when Muffin didn't want to clean her paws before entering a home, Muffin isn't being malicious here either. You can see it when she breaks character to express how she feels about the character she's playing.
Bluey, grouchy Granny is a bit too grouchy. Are you sure there isn't another type of Granny? There might be, but I just don't know what it is. Do you? No.
It's fortunate she still plays the grouchy granny because they'll need it soon. You see, an actually grouchy granny bumps into the garage sale table, causing a cup to break, and rather than apologizing or offering to pay, she yells about everything, criticizing Doreen for having the table so far out and telling Chili to mind her business. Now, in the power scale of people not to mess with, a mother is high, but old ladies are right at that tier, and unfortunately Chili is gonna get beaten down with experience. This is where someone like Muffin shines, because her brashness is not being used to help herself, it's being used to help others, even if unintentionally.
Hey, you, get off that.
No, it's mine.
I'm buying it.
Fine, give me $900.
What? The sign says 300.
$900.
This is the battle of grouchiness, and here's something that said old lady never learned. If you're nice and polite, people will have an easier time assisting you. If you're a jerk, don't be surprised when no one wants to help you. I'm glad no one initially jumped in here because Muffin gets to do and say the things that Doreen or even Chili wants to say. I say initially because Bandit tries to direct the lady to speak to Doreen, and even though she was initially willing to pay the $300 price that was on the Granny Waymobile that Muffin bumped up to $900, she would then lowball Doreen with $100, probably sensing that she doesn't have a backbone to haggle compared to Muffin. Although I speak more about the struggles of nice people in my second Bluey video, one thing I want to add to that point is that people like this grouchy woman seek to take advantage of people like Doreen. I've seen people who are selfish and rude steamroll over people who are good and honest all the time. People like Doreen do believe that everyone should be treated fairly, and while they are right, what I have learned is that the difference between Doreen and someone who may be considered less nice like myself is that fairness is dependent on how you treat other people too. Again, if you're nice, people will help you. If you're a jerk, don't expect people to help you. Bandit is now self-conscious, staring at his figure in the mirror, while Muffin refuses to get off the bike until the right price is paid. Doreen, sensing that Muffin is saying the things that she might want to say, prevents Chili from interfering. I mean, this is all for her vacation, by the way. Muffin counteracts this lady's lowball by making the offer so high, it shocks everyone.
Fine, 1,100.
1,200!
What?
And 18 lollies!
Oh, you cheeky little... Fine.
As brash as Muffin is, that level of self-confidence to act that way can be used for good. There's plenty of times I'm sure you can think of where if you had someone stand up for you or fight for your interests like Muffin did, that'd be a huge help in your life. Again, Muffin is a child, and she can be molded to understand that while she needs to learn how to share and code switch depending on the context, I can easily see her growing up into someone who boldly and proudly stands up for other people, such as her younger sister Socks. And I'm glad the episode has the adults positively reinforce what she did for them.
Muffin, look around. You can pick anything you want.
Really?
Yep, you are 1 in a million.
Muffin, who doesn't want to play the grouchy granny anymore, ends up picking a tea towel to become Super Granny, showing that again her grouchiness is her playing her part, similar to how in Library she boldly behaved in a way where she believed that she was too special for rules. You can easily see how she's not perfect, but she's kind of perfect for kids like her. Kids who didn't grow up in a household where both parents agreed on how to parent. Kids who are a bit louder than the rest and enjoy being brash and bold. She's still learning, and I would hope that parents that watch this with their child help them understand that there is a lot of good in Muffin, but there's also a lot of things for her to learn as well. Speaking of characters who went from loved to hated, you can check out my video here speaking about another character from Bluey that people didn't like at first.